everyone, my name's Emily, and I'm going to take you through setting up the Prusa slicer. Now, if you haven't downloaded the Prusa slicer yet, you can get it off of their website. It's listed under the tab Prusa Slicers. And when you go to download this, we're specifically looking for version 2.3.3. If you already have the slicer downloaded like we do, I'm going to take you through setting up the new printer. So we're going to go over to this printer setting over here, and we're going to select on this drop-down menu. Now we're going to go to Add/Remove Printers, and then we're going to select Add/Remove Presets. So from here, we want to make sure that the Mini family is selected, and we are looking for the 0.4mm nozzle. We also want to check and make sure that the original Prusa i3 MK3S is selected, also with the 0.4mm nozzle. From here, we can just hit finish and our printer will be added to the new slicer. So now that we have the original Prusa mini bed imported into the slicer, we can go on ahead and add our project. So to do that, we're going to go up to this 3D square and select it, and you'll see your project come up. And you'll just select your project and hit open, and there you can see your coin automatically comes into the printer bed. So now that we have the coin loaded into the bed, we have a lot of options for what we can do in terms of moving the coin around, scaling it, or rotating it. So we'll take a look at the rotation first. So if we wanted to rotate the coin, you can use these arrows and rotate it, or I think it's easier to use the settings over on the right hand side. So say we wanted to flip it 180 degrees, we can do that, and then you can flip it back. You can also change it in the Z direction by 180, and then change it back. And so that's how you use the rotate tool. We can also change the position of our coin on the bed if we wanted to. So again, we have these arrows highlighted that we can use, or we can change them over here. So say if you wanted to move it along the X axis a little bit, you can do that there. And you can also move it on the Y. Now you typically won't have any reason to move it along the Z because that'll just be up and down, and you want your print to stay on the bed. Now another thing that you can do here is you can scale your print. So sometimes you might be working in inches or millimeters, and when you bring the print into the bed, it'll look much smaller or bigger than what it's supposed to. And you can change the scale factors along here. So here you can see at the bottom, the scale factor for the X is 100. So if I change that to 254, it's going to make it much bigger than what it was before. And you can also see that it has snap scaling. So it's not just going to change in one direction, it'll change them all at the same time. So we'll take that back down to 100, and our coin is back to where it needs to be. So now that our coin is scaled correctly and it's in the right position on the bed, we can start looking at some of the settings on the printer. So the first thing we're going to look at is the printer setting. We want to do 0.20mm quality. The next thing we want to check is the filament. So right now we have Prusa Mint PLA selected. Any PLA will work on our printers. We also want to check on the printer. So right now I have the original Prusa Mini selected, but if the Minis were unavailable or you needed a different printer, you can also select on the i3 MK3S. And in that case, it'll just switch the bed. You don't have to worry about changing any settings or anything. The printer, it's just a bigger bed. So we'll switch back to the Mini. And then from here, you're ready to slice your coin. So that'll be at the bottom, and it says Slice Now. And now we can see a preview of what the printer will actually do while it's printing. So if we take it through this scroll bar, we can see the different layers that the printer will add as it's going. And this is just a great way to check and see what the printer is actually going to do and make sure that your print is going to come out looking how you want it to. If you look down here at the sliced info bottom in the bottom right corner, you can see how much filament is being used, and you can see the estimated print time. So for this coin, it's going to be about 24 minutes, and that should be kind of average across the projects. So now that you've checked on how much filament your print is going to use, and you've checked on the runtime of the printer, we're ready to export the G-code. So down here you'll see export G-code, you'll select that, And you'll want to save it to a flash drive to plug into the printer. And whenever you save it, you want to make sure that you give your coin a unique name. So mine says Grau Coin. So typically you want to do your last name or just something recognizable. And now from here, you're ready to print. Check the filament wheel to make sure that you have enough filament to complete your print. You can insert the USB drive in the back side of the Prusa Mini. When you do, your print will pop up on the screen. You can use the scroll wheel to select your print. The bed is removable and you can gently flex it in order to release your print when it's finished. Now the bed will heat up and the print will start. Now that the print has finished, I'll gently flex the bed of the printer and remove my print. As you look at my coin, you'll notice that it's a little bit different than the ones that you all will be designing, but it still meets the design requirements laid out by the Innovation Center.